Hi Divine Rebels, it's Bohemia with Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart readings, and we are back to a recorded video. We will be doing business and pleasure today, as I'm sure the title says. Hey, I try to do these at least like weekly, every week and a half or so. So we have a check-in and an update on our sensual, pleasurable life and our financial business life. I think a lot of people like these readings. So they're pretty simple. We do 2 cards of tarot and oracle for business, a tarot and oracle for pleasure. And today, some songs wanted to come, so I did grab a song each per pile for the from the song index cards that I wrote out, that big huge deck of like 250 songs. Yes, I do want to give a shout out to the decks I'm using. As you can see, we are using the Orisha Tarot that we unboxed live, and I have the Mermaid Tarot. And I just want to say these decks have very, very good books, like really good books. So I think like you could get the Mermaid Tarot even if you were a beginner. Now you're not going to get some of the very traditional colors and things, but you will be able to read tarot and get like the feeling of the cards and have good messages. So I might tap into some of the books from this. And the Orisha Tarot really explains all the symbolism and the meanings of what they used from Orisha culture to explain what's going on in the cards. So, you know, if you work with Orisha or you're starting to work with Orisha and you have, you know, you want to read tarot or vice versa, it's definitely, I think, a good kind of segue, because it ties both things together and it has like nothing's arbitrary in the imagery and messages. Yeah, it's helped me be like, oh wow, that's a great like illustration, a great example of the energies of this card. So just giving some feedback. I think I'm gonna put a poll up to see what readings you guys want to see next. Let me get a drink. I have my rose lemonade again, my sparkling rose lemonade. Yes, hopefully that wasn't too loud with me having on the microphone. All right, so we will get into it. We have, let me show you here, 4 options. We have 1 with the purple stone. For some reason, whenever I'm on camera, these 2 stones, I can't remember their names. And like, I'm very good with crystals, actually. I think it's just tired mom brain. It's 4:30 a.m. The second one, I nicknamed this blue jean, like a blue jean crystal. It's blues and like black and a little bit gray. It's not like moonstone or something like that. It's a little bit more obscure. This one is Merlinite. Sorry, let me show you the first one. This is the first one. Okay, it even has little green. And the last one is our amethyst. All right, so we'll have 1. I'll just call it purple stone for this because I'm sorry, I feel so guilty, Crystal, I can't remember your name. Our blue jean stone, Merlinite, and amethyst. Okay. All right. But yes, I'll put up a poll to see which pick a card you guys want to do next. I have like a huge list of them, and I got very behind in the Taurus season 1, so I probably will just wait and do a Gemini season. But we did so many Taurus type readings. Like we did like chocolates, we did spring, we did earth ones. So I kind of hit all the energies of Taurus and like different ways without actually doing like a Taurus season reading. But I do want to do that so you guys can have a general overview. So for Gemini season, I think we'll do a Gemini season reading and get back into it that way. All right, hopefully you've picked your options. I'm going to go ahead and get into it, and the timestamps should be down below and the song links. Thank you for those who send in donations and tips. If you would like to do so, the links will be down below. If you want to get a personal reading, tarot, astrology, different things like that. I do also, I can do little like mentor sessions for people who are doing magical practices, just a whole bunch of things. Contact links will be down below. Message me through Insta and Facebook are the best to do that, or through the email oceanheartconjure@gmail.com, and all of that will be in the description box to check out. Okay. Alrighty, we're going to leave that link. So we're going to do number 1, and let me pull these over here. Slide to the left. We're not going to the left them, but we'll slide them to the left. Okay. So here we go. What is your business for? Before we get to pleasure, pump your brakes. Pump your brakes, guys. Let's do the business. We have the 8 of Pentacles. That's Obatala. And we have God is your source. Everything you need is supplied by the infinite source of God, whatever you put in that word. And faith, and your faith opens the doorway, the doors. We always talk about that. In God, there's no lack or limitation. Rather, it is the plenty of abundance for all to share. So your message over here, let me set these down for a minute. Your message over here when it comes to business is to really, are you paying attention and getting the best work out of what you have been given? I'm going to tell you straight up, some of you are not utilizing your talents to the best. You might not be very skilled with like the Virgo side of life. Virgos are good at perfecting what it is they can work with. So even if Virgos aren't like the most talented in something, they'll put that 10,000 hours in until they are. You know what I mean? They will just stay at it and work hard, and they rule day-to-day work, right? And kind of like monotonous work. They can do it until they perfect it, repetition over and over. So in this one, he was charged with building the clay bodies, or building the bodies for our souls to be housed, right? And so he tried sand, that didn't work. He tried sticks, that didn't work. So then he tried the clay by the river, right? And so like, okay, that's working, that's doing good. Well, then he got a little bit distracted, a little bit you know how once you do enough work, you kind of like, all right, cool. You know, everyone knows that I'm working on this, so I can go ahead and just chill now. And so he started drinking some palm wine, and, you know, all of a sudden, then the little bodies are missing an arm, missing, you know, different parts and things. And, you know, he wasn't on what he should be doing. And so this is really about making sure you pay attention to caretaking all of the gifts and talents that are given to you. You might have put on the back burner some talents or skills, you know, because maybe in your mind you're like, well, I can't go to college for it, so I might as well just throw it away. Or you know, oh, I don't have a way to perfect this right now, so I'm just not going to do it at all, right? This is like, no, get back on the grind. 8 out of 10 Pentacles, that's the thing with the 8 of Pentacles, people forget. It's hard work, but you're so much closer to completion on it than you think you are. You know, compared to, you have some gifts, you know, straight from the source that other people would like, you know, they're like, man, I give an arm or a leg to have that gift. And you sit here, you don't do anything with it. Like you don't do anything with your art. You don't do anything with the fact that you're good at working with people, or that you're a good speaker, or that you can make things with your hands. Like whatever it is, we all have talents that others can appreciate. And that's what can be so beautiful. You know, the world is beautiful when we all can be our authentic selves, put our gifts out there, and bring joy to others just in being able to witness that and experience that. And so that is what is needed in your day-to-day work, for you to diversify your skills, pay attention more to tasks on hand. Don't get too pleased. There was a study and they said that once we speak what we're going to do, I read it in like an artist book, like once we tell someone we're going to do something, it satisfies a part of the brain that then feels like it's somewhat accomplished, because we got the recognition by telling that person we're going to do it, and then we don't follow through, right? So procrastination is, and I'm a Pisces telling y'all this, the opposite of Virgo, right? So it's time to not just sit in the inspiration and procrastination and not birth it out. It's not enough to just have the skills and not put them forth. And that's something that Pisces does too. I'm going to be honest. Pisces has that connection to source, innately talented gifts or whatever, but a lot of times they don't do anything with them, right? Or they put other things ahead of time. So it's time to channel into your day-to-day activities. No making excuses. Somebody, while I was reading this, was sitting there like, well, if I didn't have to take the kids to school, well, if I didn't have to cook dinner, maybe I would. It's like, no, can the salt or put the salt in dinner and find a way to work your gifts in your day-to-day life. No more excuses. Live creatively. Live through the gifts that you have, okay? So yes, this card also specifically, I really love the Orisha Tarot so far. I haven't read all the descriptions for cards, but so far it's had very positive messages about including, like inclusivity. And it talks about, specifically cards will be like, you know, you need to pay attention to respecting women in this. And this one specifically says, do not be ableist. So make sure, even if you yourself have like a chronic illness or something that others would perceive as a physical limitation, Like, don't discard what you are able to do in this world, and don't discard others if you are hiring or something of that nature. This is basically like, you don't judge others of what they are able to do, whether that's your clientele. Like, don't assume that, you know, certain people aren't going to be interested in your work, or they can't partake, or they can't join in. Do not judge others based on their bodies and what you think they can do in their bodies. Do not judge your body on what you think you can do, because you might be at a new place with your body where it's able to, if you would give it the chance and help it kind of work out those muscles and embrace your body as it is instead of comparison to others, you might find a whole new capacity or a new way of doing things that will bring you a lot of joy and success in business. Okay. All right, now the pleasure side. That was a long one for the business, huh? The pleasure side, we got the High Priestess. Ooh, and I'm going to read some from the book because I hadn't read this part from the book and something was telling me to, and it's like intense. We also have welcome home chocolate, okay? Somebody's answering the door in a pleasurable way. So for those of you in partnerships, you might surprise your partner when they're coming home. All right, have something nice set up. Even if they get home before you, having something that you ordered or set up, or, you know, going home on your lunch break, setting up something sensual or pleasurable or romantic could be the way to really get things popping this week, and to, you know, take those skill sets into the future. This could also be for yourself. You know, I'm the kind of person, when I come home, this is probably TMI, but it's like, clothes off. Why do we have to wear them? Like, no, I need to be free. Right? When I was in school, like, I couldn't even, like, the energy of being around so many people. I would come home, go straight to my room, take off all my clothes, go in the shower. Like, people just knew, like, I need that time. But this is like, can you do that but make it sexy? Can you give yourself a little, like, sensual reconnection time with your body when you get home, where you really do things that are pleasurable, get your body comfortable? Because sometimes, like, especially with this, we become such workhorses that we don't even release the daily tension in our body. Release the tension, okay? You know, we just come and we're building tension upon tension upon tension on our body all week, or maybe all year until our vacation. So this is like, you know, look at that. There's a glass of wine for those of you that wouldn't be problematic. There's some chocolates, and I feel like, you know, just, you know, put some rose oil on your body or something. Make sure, like, relax your body. Have it where you had you know, and it doesn't have to be expensive. Get some sea salt, do a foot soak when you come home. Do little things to help yourself relax, honor your body. It's going to get you back into a place of being more sensual, wanting to have more pleasure. And if you have a partner, or if you go to further interaction with yourself, you know, you can make it a very sensual experience. So it says this card represents moving home and buying and or selling the property. So some of you are doing that. Home loans, rental agreements are being approved. So this is in the positive for you, though. If you're worried about a move and it's been making you like, don't touch me. I'm up worried about this move. I ain't trying to think about all that. It's saying things are going to go well. All right, so go ahead and get you your nookie. All right, you're gonna get you're gonna get a slice of the cookie. No, you are about to find the home you've always dreamed of. Whether you are purchasing or renting, this is a great time to consider a new property or make changes around the property or home you have right now. I am financially guided as to where I invest my funds, and I always trust in the process. But this is on the pleasurable side as well. So allowing issues of the home not to block your sensual life, okay? Maybe even just like cleaning up and getting things in order, so when you come home, you're not like, oh my God, I can't do this because XYZ is a mess. And if you share the house with a lot of people, at least having like your room or your area where you say, okay, when I come home, I'm going in this room for 20 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever, and I'm gonna lay in my silk sheets, or, you know, faux silk sheets, we ain't mad. And I'm gonna go, you know, take a shower, put my oils on, like, I'm gonna have some me decompress time, okay? All right. And then this song that you got is Whipped Cream by Ari Lennox, and she's like, I've been eating whipped cream, having fever dreams, right? So she's just like this fantasy of what she wants to do. I definitely see a lot of food with you guys, so you guys might have your whipped creams and chocolates. I mean, it's a chocolate deck, but still going on and get a lot of pleasure from that. Some of you have been maybe a little bit eating instead of going and, doing self-pleasure or connecting with your partner or things like that. So you might want to balance it a little bit. Chocolate does fulfill some of the hormones that are like the love and like sex hormones or chemical reactions in the brain, but find your balance with that, because there's the energy to also balance work with pleasure with the Eight of Pentacles there. Now I do want to show you this passage for the High Priestess, right? Because some of you are over here like, blood sugar baby, she has it, sex magic, sex magic. That's Red Hot Chili Peppers. Some of y'all are over there on that tip. Let's just be honest. I don't mean to call you out, but call you out, foghorn. Okay, so I'm going to show you this passage in case you want to read it, because I liked it so much, but I'll kind of scan over it. Isn't that beautiful? Full color. Both of these decks are Llewellyn Publishing, and they've really stepped up their game since back in the day. Okay, so it says the High Priestess sees all, although sometimes that's just as much a blessing as a curse. So we talked about you being overwhelmed. You got so much to wade through. So it's talking about you working alone at your altar, okay? And understand that magic comes with a price sometimes. So because it says when you ask the sea for something, you must give something in return. So some of you, it's just kind of your pride, it's your stress, literally, that you have to sacrifice to go have a more pleasurable life because you're so distracted, right? It's that control that you have to let go. What are you willing to give? Calypso, the goddess of the sea, knows that the less you give, the less you get in return. That big vision you hold deep inside of you will cost you and might even break you. Do you want it anyway? So I feel like this is your guys' like relationship with like release and having an orgasm, having pleasure. It's like this big huge sacrifice for you. It's very intense. So you might have built up a lot of blockages between your sacral chakra and just like your root chakra, like, so you're not seeing it as just a simple healthy thing. Or you might be using your sacral chakra energies, manifesting things like your home and your practical life so much that you're just like, well, I don't have the energy or space to be doing all this, that, and the other. So, as the goddess works, she cares not about your fears, doubts, and concerns. She already sees that which you cannot. So it's saying be careful when you summon her, because she is going to expect you to already have read the terms of the deal and be waiting for your payment. So there's no hiding the truth, for she only deals with the energy of your soul. So I think that's just kind of the way you guys are looking at this whole situation. You might be very much waiting for a deep soulmate partner. Definitely I can see this group not being able to just easily go out and be here and there necessarily. It's all about the home. There's a lot of Pisces, Cancer, Scorpios in this group, maybe some Taurus, Virgos, and even Capricorns. So I think that for a lot of you, it's going to be just getting to the point that you're okay with your fantasies and your fever dreams and the deep inner force within you and taking care of that, right? She can handle it. She can handle all that power of the moon down there in her sacral chakra, okay? So, and just so you know, that's a good way to manifest. That's one of the most powerful ways you can manifest, is through the release of sacral chakra energies, right? Whether you're releasing, like people do manifestations on their menstrual cycle, which is why in a lot of cultures, it's seen as a sacred ceremony in and of itself, but that's also other sacral chakra activities like orgasm, right? That is huge creation energy that is leaving. So there's some thoughts for you guys. I'm just gonna leave it there. I just gave you a very, very long reading, which is okay. I just know some people are gonna be like, what, this is so long. Some people don't like long readings, some people do. Let me know what you prefer down in the comments. I might do some polls on things like that on the channel. All right, so we're going to move on to number 2, your business and pleasure for the blue jean crystal. It's like a cool name. It makes me think of like James Dean or something. Blue jean crystal. All right, so for business, what did you guys get? You got the 3 of Cups. All right, I like this one. Now this 3 of Cups is a bit more traditional. It's talking about in business, to apply it to business, that you have to be aware of social structures, that's the way they are. For instance, like when we have elders, or when you have people who were initiated into that practice or that work before you did, there's a natural hierarchy. And so we can get mad like, hello, I'm an anarchist too, but but there are some times where there's roles for a reason. Like there needs to be the leader of the pack and things of that nature. So we don't want it to be so locked in that they think they can do whatever they want. But this time right now for you is to be more respectful for kind of like the way things are. This one has, you know, someone who is a newer initiate or the younger serving the elder at the table, right? So a lot of you really have to kind of get back to that point. You might get mad, like maybe you are in part of a family business, but you're not the family member. And so you're like, oh, well, this is nepotism and this and that. Well, yeah, it's a family business. So imagine if you had your own family business, of course you would prioritize your family. You'd want to be respectful to everyone, but you know, it started as a family business. So it's kind of an honor that other people get to be brought into that. So it's like really try to look and be more respectful of the way that things are run. There's certain burdens that go upon the bosses and the CEOs of companies and things that are not the same as someone who's just coming into the game. And so sometimes those are very clear-cut lines, and sometimes it's more like social lines where it's harder to navigate. But right now that is their advice. Also, business dinners are really, really successful for you right now. I would definitely say go. If you get invited to one, you might feel like, well, I'm just new here, it's kind of weird, but it's not a big deal. Go. All right, I'll tell you guys, I mentioned this before with this worst boss ever, this Libra, catty Libra I had just promoted and was in the middle of another promotion. So I wouldn't have even been in her section that long, her division, but she would go and perform at like Disneyland and do like show choir stuff. Yes, she was like in her 40s. She would, and I, you know, I'm an artsy person, but she was just like nails on a chalkboard about it. And so she, during the holidays, y'all, went and had a performance at like at Disney World or something with her show choir, and she expected everyone in the office to go. Like, I'm sorry, she has this huge beachside condo in Orange County. I just got my first place. I actually had a nice place, but I'm scraping. Like, there's no furniture, right? I'm scraping. And so I'm like, I don't have, what am I gonna bus all the way to Orange County for your Disney World show and pay to get in? Like, it made no sense. Like, it was completely unprofessional that she expected us to go to this, right? Because we're not even like an artsy business. This was like a government job. So so I didn't go. She didn't speak for me for 2 weeks, and then basically plotted my downfall and got me fired without unemployment after. She coded it wrong and the city wouldn't correct it. So yeah, like it was bad, right? Because I didn't go to her little dance party and dinner thing, whatever. So sometimes it's good to just bite the bullet and go to the damn boss's birthday party or whatever and just do what you have to do. I was okay in that situation because I had simultaneously had my talk with Mother Ocean that I didn't want to work there anymore. So okay, but still, that was shady. So if you want to keep your job, no. But also, if you are the head of your own business, it could be letting you know that you're gonna have to establish hierarchy sometimes when you really don't want to. You're gonna have to put boundaries with your clients, even though it's social. And I relate to this because I'm Pisces. My clients really connect with me and we're like friends too, but then sometimes they cross the line and they're like messaging me these huge things 24/7, and I'm like, it's hard to navigate. So I feel like some of you are your own business owners, and that is kind of the place that you're in. Like, where is it that we're friends? Where is it that we're, you know, friendly acquaintances? And where is it that I'm the boss and like I'm responsible for this whole ship, you know? So it's a really good time to exercise proper boundaries, even within social settings that you're having when you're out networking in the community, things of that nature. It's also a good time for you to hold like a dinner or, you know, commemorate an event or like an anniversary or, you know, holiday or something like that. All right, now for your business oracle, cooperation instead of competition. So this goes so well together, right? What's yours is yours and no one can take it from you. There's no need to compete as there's an abundance for all. You have complete access to unlimited abundance for yourself and to share with others. With cooperative partnerships, you can accomplish anything. So yeah, even if lately you've been feeling like, oh, well, there's competition in the workplace, it's letting you know that befriending that person, like even if you're like, okay, at the call center, right? I worked in a call center, people people can get catty sometimes. Just be like, hey, let's have a potluck, like, you know, and bring things, and just try to, you know, bring in a more, hey, we all have our own positions. Yes, you know, we have to put respect on that because that's the way things work around here. But like, we're all human. We're still can be friendly and respectful with each other. Cooperation instead of competition is how you move things forward at this time in your life. Okay, now for your pleasure segment, we have the Eight of Wands reversed. It's so funny because this is like when you can't shoot your shot, basically, or when you're missing the target of what should be going on. So be careful. Like, this is getting really in specific, but those of you who are using pull-out theory, you might not get it going where you want it to go. It might hit somewhere else and get you in a predicament. Okay, so pay attention to that. Now, for some of you, it's just not kind of I don't know, being able to get there in the first place, not being able to reach climax, not being able to feel inspired or attracted. You might be kind of feeling a little bit dull in your love life with your partner, or just uninspired if you're in the dating game by other people. Like, come on, when am I going to meet someone that's just going to like, yes, I just, right now, right here, take me, you know? You might feel like that's not happening, or this person could be further away from you, because for some of you there could be a little bit of travel that's in the way. But it's like, man, where am I gonna hit that? Like, when am I gonna get that inspiration where I can just go with it, where I really just want to pop off, can't wait, you know, tear each other's clothes off kind of feeling. And so that's where your blockage is right now, is just trying to get inspired, being more spontaneous. So some of you don't have enough spontaneity, and that could be why. So if you're doing the same thing, you're going the same places, seeing the same people, like you're just not giving yourself any new inspiration with each other. Maybe you don't have any you know, anything new to talk about, anything new. You don't see them in different clothes, work outfit pajamas, you know, that kind of thing. So you might need to spice it up and go to different places. Now, you also got the organic chocolate free spirit reversed. And so this is talking about embracing the wild, free nature, hippie side of yourself, indulge in decadence and deliciousness, the essence of lovers, not the fighters, peacemakers, flower children, free spirits. Oh, this is the one talking about take off your clothes, dance in the rain, be barefoot, like do a whole bunch of different things. I rejoice in the freedom life has given me, but it's reversed. So you guys aren't living free enough and just allowing yourself to try different things, even just in like a general way in your life. Like, go outside, it's springtime, okay? You know, have a little camp out, or I don't know, go in the car, like spice it up. Now, the song you got was Another Lifetime, and this song is about when things don't sync up with that person and it's just not working. So some of you are at the point that it's time to release this person, where maybe you are sitting there not dating because you're wanting it to work out. Sorry, I want you to be able to see that name. All right, and links will be down below. But you're not dating because you're waiting for it to work out with this person, and instead you're like passing things by. It's kind of, you know what it's like, some of you, it's like you're waiting for a Sagittarius and you're like a Cancer sitting at home. Like, that Sagittarius ain't waiting for you. They're gonna be out exploring, living free and wild, and you're not even dating them, or you're waiting for them to come back and y'all broke up. It's like, why? Like a houseway, like that's not the thing to do at this time. So get more spontaneous, you know, follow innate attractions, give yourself opportunities to be inspired and attracted and to see the new, okay? Because you're stuck on the old, and it's inhibiting your spirit, it's inhibiting your pleasure in life, your sensual sexual life. And some people, even if they're soulmates, you just have to tell them, okay, well, next lifetime we'll get back to that, because right now it's not working for me. All right, so pay attention to the people who they'll pop over and see you, they'll go and do things with you, they're expanding your horizons, they are getting you more passionate in life, not obsessive. All right, obsessive and unfulfilled is not the same thing as growth and passion and fulfillment. Okay, so that's where we're at with that. So drop down below what you thought of the reading and how you connect, and I will talk to you soon. Number 2. That's funny that I said James Dean actually too for your reading, and then you got all the free spirit cards but reverse, right? Okay, and then for number 3 we have the Merlinite. All right, so let's see, for your business portion, we got the Two of Wands. And this Two of Wands is actually really good with the symbolism that I put. This is from the proverb, basically, that two rams cannot drink out of the same bowl. And it's perfect because this is actually a card of Aries. So basically, you're going to keep butting heads and you can't drink out of the same bowl. So a lot of you are in survival mode. You're going head to head with coworkers or bosses, or maybe just other people in the real life, like you're hitting heads with landlords and people who would do your loans, like the bank and stuff, and you just like, or a partner who wants you to do something else in your career, or a family member, and you're hitting heads and you're not even able to get to the nourishment and to resolve the situation and cool down, kind of get that fresh drink of water, because your focus is competing on the other person, right? So even if people aren't around, you guys might be competing with the voices of other people, like, oh, well, they think this of me, so I gotta, they're not right, and you're so focused on competing that image of you or their opinion and hitting heads with them or showing them or arguing with them, that you're not even just going to the nourishment yourself. Now, a good way to use tension is the hammer and the anvil. That's when you're bending metal. The focus then is on the work, right? You're focusing on the metal. That's where all the heat and the tension goes, and you're building something, you're molding something, right? So there could be a lot of temper for you guys. You might be feeling like exhausted. Look at how the eyes are all red. You might be like dehydrated. You might be just like, oh, even if you sleep, you wake up, you feel cranky, you just feel dry, like your stuff feels dry. Your hair and skin might even feel dry and brittle. And so it's just like frustration energy, needing to you need to bring in more water element, more cooling. Literally just go and drink some water when you're getting frustrated and pissed off. Like cool your body down, cool your spirit down, and think about that. Okay, where are the resources? Because this person isn't the challenge. What I need to do is get myself the resources, right? Now, sometimes I understand it can feel that way, because let's say you go to get a resource that should be available in your community, and then you have to deal with like this shitty worker who's being awful to you or whatever. So then you get distracted, bumping heads. It's like, pay attention to those cycles and pull your head back, let them run into the wall, and you focus on who is going to help you get those resources. So you might have to go above someone's head in this current situation. You might have to bow out yourself and go and get yourself the resources that you need, but make sure you're not expending this energy. Because also think about this: what if somebody walks up to you with a different business ideal, or your partner or children, and you're in this kind of mode? How are you going to snap at them? How are you going to act to them, right? You're just in that fight mode, fight or flight. And I'm not saying that it's not valid. I know how this world is. I know how it is for people who don't have in this world. It's very, very hard, right? It can be very hard. So but this is saying refocus, put all that that you have, all that all that frustration and fire into the making of what it is that you want. You might have to build some real resources for yourself, right? Okay. Now you have exercise to increase your energy and manifestation abilities. For you guys, it might be to blow off steam. Even if your body is physically tired inside, you carry like the weight, like the energy of like a freaking boxer, like like MMA or something. Like, you have so much freaking internal energy. You might be Scorpio moons like Bruce Lee, right? You just have that internalized powerhouse of energy. Definitely could be Aries moons as well, fire moons, even cap moons. You just have this intense, huge energy in your body. You have to let it out. At least go for walks. I mean, it says exercise, but she's kind of like la 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 with my bunny and my doves, like enjoying planet Earth, right? So at least go out for some walks, go out, enjoy spring. Spring starts with Aries season. Just get out and let some of this energy off. Give yourself some new scenes. You might need to realize that there are other resources, and you won't see them if you, like, how can you see them if you're locked into battle with one person? How can you see anything else going on? Some of you, that's a part of yourself that you're battling, right? The key to manifesting quickly is to have very high energy levels, and the easiest way to increase them is through physical exercise. Use a fun and meaningful activity so that you'll look forward to exercising and it becomes its own reward. Shoot, some of you, it's not the energy that's the problem, it's letting it out. So think of that. Burn off your energy and make that anger, that frustration, transmute into what you want to manifest. Transmute your energy. Spiritual alchemy. I do that. We'll do that in our house if we get frustrated. Okay, let's dance. Let's dance. And we're going to turn all this frustration into joy. We're going to physically feel it. We're going to make this house feel full of our energy that is happy and joyful, and shake off this kind of stagnation or frustration that we're feeling. And dance, like, what is it? The Druzes, right? Dance and spin out that energy. So physical, I'll twerk it out. Physical energy is important. Some of y'all just need to do jumping jacks or something. Okay, or we're segueing into the pleasurable section of our reading. You could do some other things, okay? So because Four of Swords is in your pleasure side of your reading, you're kind of, locked up over there. Some of you, that could be where all this extra energy is from, because you're not releasing it sensually, sexually, or anything. Some of you have been celibate for a very long time. So you think you're frustrated about business, but you're frustrated about a different part of your business, okay? Yes, some of you, so there's two sides of this. For those of you who have been, just out there, maybe even overly, depending on what, within your own boundaries, overly active sexually, you're just going, exhausting yourself, stressing your health, okay? It's time to cool out. It's like, could you hit the pause button on that? Your roommates or something might be like, again? Can you pause that situation, please? For those of you who have been celibate for a long time, maybe you just invite someone to date. Some of you, it was intentional. You were working on you. It's saying, how constructive has it been, though? Like, has it been like an actual constructive, not, sleeping together or whatever, or, having a sexual life? Or has it been more that you didn't want to have to work on intimacy, and you don't have to get back out there and like go outside your house and meet people and see people, or work on your health and your exercise and things? And so you're saying, oh, I'm doing me, I'm focusing on me right now, spiritual yada yada, but really you're sleeping on yourself, right? It's like, and this is like, you don't use it, you lose it. All right. If you're not constructively being celibate, you're just wasting it away. It's like, come on now. We're on ice. Could we please use some of this fire to melt this situation over here? Okay. And I feel like there could be a lot of suitors now. They blend in, right? There's all those animals around. There's a lot of experiences to be had. So you'll have to see where you're at. If you've been out there for a while, you might know that, yes, this is my time. I do need to put it on ice. Okay. I need some recuperation time. But for some of you, it's like, it's been years. And like I said, you're making a lot of excuses, but spiritually, your spirit's like, really? It's giving you the pursed lips. Because I don't think we said all that. I don't think that's the reason that we're really not expressing ourselves. Some of you are even in relationships, right? And it's been a while and nothing's been going on. So let's see what other advice they have. Integrity, butterscotch. Yep, so a lot of you are doing that. Some of y'all are Virgos or like Scorpios. Could be some Aquarians in this too. This card represents integrity, dependability, and trustworthiness. Just be careful not to become too self-absorbed or judgmental. That's what I'm talking about with this card, right? It can easily become where there's other reasons, and it's not just on integrity or trying to find the right partner, of why we are not allowing ourselves to live fully in our bodies. There's a richness in your life that does not depend on money or material obsession. Take a deep look inside and see where life is offering you joy and abundance. Your family and friends find you dependable and trustworthy, but can you find those qualities for yourself when you need them? That's huge. Can you trust yourself to go out and find respectable partners now? Can you trust yourself to honor your body for self-pleasure? Those are the conversations and discussions to be working on right now. There's a richness in my life that brings me everything that I need. Okay. And then you've got love. So a lot of you, you are looking for love, and that's a good reason. But you might need to tend to your own health, your own sensual health in that time. Then, this is LOVE by Nat Cole, right? I love Nat Cole. We love Nat Cole in this house. Baby Magic loves Nat Cole. Nat King Cole. That's right. Put the king on it. So that is your reading. I hope it was a good check-in for you. Drop down below how it resonated for you, and stay tuned for the polls that I'll be putting on the community posts for, pick a card we should do next and things like that. All right. Thank you, number 3s. I will talk to you soon. Number 4s. we have the Amethyst crew, Amethyst Slice. Your business, starting on the business side of things, we have the Ace of Swords. This Ace of Swords, I love the colors. It's connected to Ogun. This Ace of Swords has a big message to really pay attention to your business plan. What is your 5 or 10 year plan? It also is reminding you that things are double-edged. Words, transactions, they can be two-edged swords. So the advice specifically in this card in this deck is really says like, don't be shady. Don't be two-sided. Be like, come correct. Sometimes we're like, fine, I'm just gonna play this situation and tell this coworker this and this person that. I don't care. I gotta maneuver. And this is like, don't do that. It's gonna come and bite you. Okay, you're dealing with some air signs, some of you, and all that talking they do behind the scenes, they're gonna put 2 and 2 together. Or you're an air sign, you think you can get away with it and play both sides of the fence. It's saying no. Just a moment. I'm gonna take a little drink of my rose lemonade. Okay. Yeah, so people might be sipping the tea, the lemonade around the water cooler. So pay attention to what you say to others. Really watch the words and thoughts and ideas you share with others, because they could pick up that sword and it can suddenly be coming back to you. Also, don't share information that you don't want others to run away with, right? Ideas, once an idea is out of your head, you can't get that back. People can take it and do whatever they want with it, unfortunately. And then it would lead to litigation or something in order for you to be able to get that back. So it is saying don't blame others for your mistakes anymore. It's like, take that sword, take that power back, your power of thought, your power of how you're writing that story. Just take the power back in things and just handle it. Now, it does say protect your business, and I'm getting that. Some of you, I think you are in litigation for something. I'm not sure exactly what's gone on, or that you need to, you maybe that someone has plagiarized or something of that nature, and that you're going to need to address it. It's like, make sure that you have all your ducks in the row first, that you have handled anything that you might have done wrong in the situation. Basically, that's the thing. Write the situations where you have been wrong, so that then you are now kind of pure, fresh, clean slate again, and you can move forward, right? It's like, you can't tell on your brother or sister while you're still doing something you're not supposed to. But if you come clean with your parent and everything, you're like, okay, now by the way, they took my bike apart and are selling it in the alley. I don't know why I thought of that, but but it's like, you have to be on your shit first before you can be trying to fix everything else. So that is the focus right now. Your mind's very powerful. Your words are very powerful. Make sure that they are working for you, not against you. Let go of guilt. All right. When you allow your light to shine brightly, you inspire others. Forgive yourself for what you think you've done or not done, and trust that God loves you unconditionally for who you are. Learn and grow from past mistakes instead of berating yourself for them. So I didn't even know that was the next card. So yes, that's definitely a theme here. Is there's some of you are really trying to get to the bottom of a situation. You want to know all the truth of it. You've messed up in some ways, but then you also have blame for the other person in some ways. But it's like, we don't have time. Ain't nobody got time for that, right? We have the clock back here. So it's like, at this time, he's blowing the horn, the trumpet. It's just like, at this time, let it go. Focus on what you can do. If they were messed up, fine. If you in the future have to take action, fine. But right now, you need to preserve your ideas, protect your business. Some of you need to go and get your LLC, or make sure you have a lawyer, things of that nature, to protect your business. Make sure that your legalities are all on point. Do your taxes, all that kind of stuff, so that nothing can come back. And instead of just thinking about, oh, I've been such a bad business person, I haven't done this, get it right now. Also, it's a good time to be truthful on your resumes and stuff. I know sometimes we have to, creatively interpret things, but just make sure it's the truth, even if you are creatively interpreting them. Okay. All right. Now, when it comes to the pleasure side of things, let's see what we got. You got the 5 of Swords. So yes, all the way around, there's the need to come forward with honesty and truth in your life, and to not get out of your depths, right? So Don't worry about chasing other people's ideas, other people's communications, trying to make your love life what other people's are, because in this case, these mer children found some human swords and started playing, and it was all good until this one cut themselves. And then now it's a dangerous situation because it's blood in the water, and it's going to lead to way bigger, deeper issues. So in your pleasurable life, your sexual life, focus on what is your truth and what's good for you, not what everyone else like thinks that you should be doing or says that your relationship should be. That's not actually helpful. You know what I mean? Because everyone doesn't have the same type of relationship. There's a whole spectrum of relationships, of sexuality, of, you know, what sensual delights there are, all of that kind of thing. And having other people's voice in your head that, oh, this is what you're supposed to do. I'm even getting like let's say like in the gay community, there could be certain things that are like, well, this is the way it's done, right? All of this kind of just like kind of cultural things or something. And maybe for you, you're like, well, I don't do that. I don't want a zaddy. I don't know why that's the example that's coming to my head, but you're like, I don't want that, you know, I want to do my relationship differently. So allow yourself to find your authentic voice of what you actually want, right? I also feel like you guys need to be clearer with your consent with your partner. That's a big thing here, because if you're not, then it becomes this very confusing situation of, well, I didn't really tell my partner I didn't want to try that, but then I didn't quite want to, I don't know, I was confused, I needed more time, I don't know what happened, now I feel guilty, are they wrong, was I wrong? I feel like that's happened a lot for some of you guys, and you might still be confused to this day about like your own rights for consent or how to communicate what you do and don't like. So I would really work on that. Communication is a huge thing, and it's always better to say pause, time out, than to, you know, kind of play with something that you don't know what you're doing, or if you're unsure and then hurting yourself. And again, it becomes a much bigger issue because now sharks could come in the water, get these little mermaids, right? Because there's blood in the water. All right, so consent. We have inspiration reversed. Some of you picked number 3 as well. This card comes as a good omen. Feel confident in the knowing that your spiritual, emotional, physical, and financial needs are being met. Hi, baby. You waking up? Hi, precious. Come here. You got horsey? Baby Magic just woke up. Hi, sweet baby. We've got the sweetest little smile, little shoulders up, cute. Okay, so nurture your confident nature and consider the more specific changes that you would like to see in your life. Start writing a list. Vision the changes already in place. This is a great time of manifestation, so start thinking big. My needs are always met. I am one with the Creator, and therefore I create my own luck. So that is she's crinkling this little ribbon thing. Yeah, so communication with yourself and knowing what you want. It's a much more cerebral side of, you know, sensual life, but it's so important. So don't feel bad if you got to hit the pause, time out, write down what you want. How do you envision your life? It even says something about a vision board. Like, hey, do a sensual vision board. How do you want to be treated? How do you want to be touched? How do you want to be respected? What communication do you have? What's your safety word? You know, what do you think? Like, have you even thought about, you know, what it means for you to give your permission to you know, I just feel like some of you aren't very clear on that, like the difference between no, I don't like this, or okay, I'm open to try it, but then I can say no if I don't like it in the midst of it, all those kind of things. And it's important that you know also your partners. So there could be that your partner has been trying, you know, positions and things that they're not very comfortable with, or it's not doing anything for them. Or maybe it's even a little painful, okay? But they don't really say anything because you guys maybe you just feel very traditional. This is what we're supposed to do. You're supposed to do what your partner wants. So that's just a huge thing, and it's going to help you bring more inspiration in again. All right. Now, some of you, now the other side, you know, are, you know, you like a little pleasure and pain. You're going to experience that more. Maybe you're ready to start playing into that aspect. So this could be the time to talk about that if you want to go into that area of things. But your song was Girls Need Love, and literally in the song she's talking about, it could be any gender, but in the song she's talking about like girls can never say now, girls can never say we want it, girls can never say how, like we're, you know, about not being able to speak up and say this is what I want, you better come, you know, come see me right now, this is how I want it, not being able to communicate that. So right now it's about taking your power, being able to do that. Now if you're the one, you're like, no, I always say this, that, this is how I want it, this is how we're doing it, it could be time to listen to your partner more. Okay, so that is your reading. She has the mala beads, the mermaid mala beads. Yes, those are Mama's. She's supposed to have her tiger's eye, but she really wants to hold those. I don't mind so much with the Little Mermaid's medal, so I have to just really watch when she has it to make sure. Yes, so that is your reading. Let me know down below what you thought. I love doing the business and pleasure reading, so definitely give good feedback. Please continue to if you enjoy these little readings as well, these check-ins. And stay tuned for the polls that I'll be posting on our community page about which pick a card should we do next, and if you like long readings, short readings, and different things like that. All right, thanks for kicking it with us. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.